We've all witnessed people at the large crusade being invited by the evangelist to make a decision for Christ, or the TV preacher culminating his message by asking viewers to receive Jesus. It even happens in the local church setting. And there isn't anything wrong with making a decision for Jesus, but is that all there is to it? My name is Tom Miller, and I have the privilege of serving the people of Central Assembly in Superior, Wisconsin. This is Fuel for the Fire, Volume 820. It's the difference between a decision and a disciple. I like the idea of bringing people to a place of decision after the gospel is presented. That's where the journey starts. The problem is, for many, it's also where the journey ends. Some of the biggest and most well-known evangelists admit by their own statistics that only about 2% of people who respond at a crusade are involved in a church a year later. They may have made a decision, but they never became a disciple. Being a disciple requires more than an inspired moment. Anyone can start. Anyone can start a marathon. Anyone can start a class. Anyone can start to quit smoking. Anyone can start a diet or start a book or start a project or start going to church. Anyone can start. But discipleship goes beyond a decision to start. A disciple is someone who systematically and progressively rearranges their life around becoming like Jesus. When we read Matthew 4:19 through 22, we find Jesus making an invitation to a group of fishermen. "Follow me," he says. Scripture records they immediately left their nets and followed. Then he saw some other anglers mending nets with their dad. Again, the offer was presented, "Follow me." And they immediately left the ship and their father and followed Jesus. Some people try to squeeze Jesus into their existing life, but true discipleship will cost you everything. In Matthew 16:24, Jesus says, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." The disciples left their livelihood and their family to follow Jesus. Discipleship demanded of them. This was no walk in the park. There was a price to pay, a cost to count, and a sacrifice to make. It wasn't just an emotional decision. It was the beginning of a lifelong journey. The conversion of a soul occurs in a moment, but the making of a disciple is the process of a lifetime. When you decide to follow Jesus, don't forget, he's heading toward the cross. It's the difference between a decision and a disciple. That's the way I see it. And that's a little fuel for the fire. And remember, I love you guys.